in the minds of the horror directors is almost more likely in the religion, because you have this fact that they're almost ironic.
Yeah.
Is you have this depiction of evil as force of evil, who is killing what many people would consider to be not necessarily evildoers, but at least people who are wrong, straying from the path. I think there's even some actually slasher films where there's at least one I know of where there's a crazy old coot that actually makes a reference to the fact, like, if you weren't doing that, it wouldn't happen. I don't remember what movie it is, but it was some old bird was like, they found some dead bodies, and I want to say maybe it was a Friday the 13th movie. Maybe it was Jason Goes to Manhattan. I'm trying to remember which one it was.
The one with the telepath girl?
I think so. But, there's a part where they go in there and there's, like, 5 kids dead. And, like, someone is, like, found with, like, a joint and, one girl's naked or something. There's, like, this old bird that lives, like, down the street. And she's like, you know what? If these kids wouldn't have been doing all this sin, the Lord went to kill them. So you have this idea that there's just sort of instrument of God's wrath.
Yeah.
At the same time, you also have, except for Freddy is actually the exception, because Freddy actually tends to go after the ones who are actually more innocent.
For example, in Rennie Harlan's film, he actually kills a little girl and kills somebody who's bulimic.
Mm-hmm. So Freddy, which is, I guess, why they turned Jason into a superhero in Freddy vs. Jason, because Jason was kind of like defending the poor people that Freddy was going after.
Yeah.
But you have that idea, you sort of have the misfits and the outcasts.
Yeah.
The misfits and the outcasts are usually actually the people who don't get killed.
Yeah.
Which is weird, because that's sort of like now the new horror things. And
it's like, the opposite.
It's the misfits and the outcasts that always get killed, and the beautiful people get to walk away. Whereas in actual 80s horror films that they claim to be remaking and redoing, it was actually quite the opposite. It was usually like the guy like listening to like heavy metal or something would like walk away, and the guy listening to the Sex Pistols would be like, "Catch you later, Jason. I'm leaving you, buddy." It's like, go over and kill that stuck-up Christian bitch over there. They also can kill Christian people. I'll tell you something I remember, because there was like in one of them, there was some bitch who was like really sexual, but she was also like the pastor's daughter.
Yeah.
She was like really stuck up and was really slutty. And it was almost like that was this idea of you have this kind of like, it's a little different than the boogeyman thing, that they used to have like back in the like medieval days.
Yeah.
In the Catholic Church is like, Father William says that you better give money to the church,
or the boogeyman will rape you.
It's like, well, the devil will come in and take your soul.
Rape your soul.
Rape your soul. Or succubus will come tempt you. And the guy's like, all right, I'm not paying. And that's what it is. Many people say that it is that it's the conservative, the anti-conservatism, but at the same time, it's almost like they exemplify it. Like I can almost see some weird Christian family being like,
"We're gonna watch Friday the 13th."
See now, Lauren, here. See what I'm saying? See what happens to that chick? See what happens to her? See what happens to that slut, honey? Like to his daughter, like, see what happens to that slut, Rebecca? See, that's why you don't go around sucking guys' dicks besides your daddy's. Because, see what happens is a guy wearing a big hockey mask will kill you. Really meanly. And then, you'll have to go to hell. Guess who's in hell? Pithead. And he will rape your soul. Hellraiser, I guess, was kind of the exception, because Hellraiser was actually weird because of course, because it's created by Clive Barker, but you have this idea of perversion.
Yeah.
You don't just have sex. It's actually the fact that Pinhead and his buddies actually just like fucking with people. That's actually more what they do than actually kill them. It's like we just like rip you apart and you kind of want to die after that.
Yeah.
And you don't have the moralism.
Yeah.
You know, same thing with Candyman and pretty much anything Clive Barker created, like Lord of Illusions. Those, as far as older horror films, you know, those are actually almost in their own category over here.
Yeah.
I guess I would probably include
Murder Midnight Meat Train
and Howling. Because Howling is a completely different thing. Because Howling is actually probably more closer to Wolfen than
Wolfen was.
I'm sure because Whitley Strieber actually said that about, you know, the werewolf sex scene in Howling. He's like, damn it, that should have been a Wolfen. It's like Joe Dante just like took that straight out of my books, and then, you know, the part where they have the werewolf, crazy werewolf sex. Joe
Dante needs to do another horror film. Besides Masters of Horror.
Yeah, they're apparently remaking Howling.
Maybe they should get Joe Dante
to remake his own film
with a bigger budget.
Yeah.
Although
I actually like the original a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, look at what he could do with a bigger budget.
Agreed. Well, then again,
with a buttload more werewolves.
Well, if it was actually good, he actually tried.
Yeah.
As opposed to Looney Tunes back in action.
But then again, wasn't his Masters of Horror episode pretty good?
Actually, his Masters of Horror episode was amazing.
It was actually written by Sam Hamm.
It was about like these undead
zombies. Yeah, soldiers. Yeah, there were zombies. Yeah, I know. I saw a bit on it. I didn't see it, but I saw a bit on it. And
it was pretty good.
It was, you know who wrote it?
Who?
Sam Hamm,
Sam Hamm?
Hamm.
Oh.
Who co-wrote the Tim Burton Batman movies.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Will surrender yourself. Because, I mean, the horror genre, I don't think gets enough respect.
No, it doesn't.
Particularly psychological horror. Like something like In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh, God, man, that's a great movie.
It's underrated, too, like, by far.
Yeah.
A lot of people are like, oh my God, it's a terrible film.
No, most people don't even know it exists.
Agreed. But those that knew it, so it gets really lukewarm reviews if you actually find actual reviews of it. Except for the H.P. Lovecraft Historical Society, which listed it as the best
of the lot.
Of the whole. Because I would say Cronenberg, okay, the guys right here that don't fit into what we listed as a formula for horror.
Yeah.
And probably anything Clive Barker worked on or was even involved with.
Yeah.
David Cronenberg, if he's really...
Well, yeah, horror director.
It's up to how you look at it. I mean... Mm-hmm. I could actually probably make just as good a case that he isn't a horror director. But I can make a good case that he is.
Yeah.
Probably Stuart Gordon.
Yeah.
Because his is much more different.
And it... Yeah.
And Don Coscarelli.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that Don Coscarelli kind of ended up getting the formulaic. He basically just kept on remaking the Phantasm.
Yeah.
The Phantasm 4. The tall old dude freaks more people out.
You
think Sam Neill is sexy when he's in a straitjacket? You think Charlton Heston is awesome?
He is.
Charlton Heston is Nick Fury.